Good day. My name is Enron Rodgers, and today I'll be discussing Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Minister's Black Veil and how this seemingly simple story operates as a powerful social, economic, and cultural critique of antebellum America. While often read as a religious parable, Hawthorne's story walks on multiple levels. Through the central symbol of the veil, Hawthorne examines emerging democratic individualism, the power of public opinion, economic concerns, and religious anxieties of the 1830s. To understand this story, we must first understand the era it was written. The 1830s marked a profound transformation in America. Jacksonian democracy expanded white male suffrage, while the Second Great Awakening emphasized an emotional religious experience. The market revolution commercialized all aspects of life, while lastly, the rising anti-Catholic sentiment intensified with the Irish immigration. The central tension in the story is the conflict between individual will and the community's demands. Hooper's veil represents his deliberate withdrawal from communal norms, paralleling the emerging American ideal of self-reliance. However, the community's reactions demonstrate the coercive power of public opinion in their rejection of change. For example, the old squire who once invited Hooper to dinner every Sunday now neglects to have him at his table, showing how social bonds could be severed by any perceived deviation from accepted norms through community resentment. Hooper's identity then becomes a product of public perception rather than his own conviction. But Hawthorne doesn't present the community's judgment as justified because Hooper's sermon on secret sin uses the symbol of the veil to expose the community's hypocrisy. As mentioned in the story, each member felt as if the preacher has discovered their hidden iniquity, which produces a dual critique of excessive individualism and conformist community hypocrisy. The story also critiques the commercialization of religion. In the story, the veil gives Hooper power over souls and makes him efficient, suggesting his effectiveness is enhanced by what divides him from the community. Additionally, strangers travel long distances to gaze at him, transforming Hooper into a celebrity. This reflects anxieties about how market revolution was affecting religion, with revivalist preachers marketing salvation through charismatic performances. In the 1830s, anti-Catholic sentiment was intense, fueled by publications describing convent secrets and the ceremony of taking the black veil. Hawthorne subverts this discourse by placing a veil on a Protestant minister, transforming Hooper into a Catholic-like priest who in the confessional gains access to hidden sins of the congregation. Even his later title of Father Hooper aligns him with Catholic priesthood, further drawing on public anxieties of changes in the churches at the time. Hawthorne blurs the boundaries between Protestant and Catholic imagery, using it not to critique Catholicism, but to critique the very Protestant culture that produced such anxieties in the first place. By using a symbolic effect of the nun's veil, Hawthorne shows how nativist fears were being projected even onto American institutions. The veil is also a multivalent symbol which examines all of the following tensions within the story and the era it was written: individual versus society, authenticity versus performance, Protestant versus Catholic, public versus private self, and sin versus hypocrisy. Through this single symbol, Hawthorne examines the multiple contradictions of his era. In conclusion, the minister's black veil is far more than a simple religious parable. It is also a layered critique of antebellum American society that remains surprisingly relevant today. Hawthorne shows us that societies always react to differences in complex ways.